Now, who are the Slavs? The Slavs were the majority ethnic nationalities from Eastern Europe. So when you hear slave, 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 slave is a European terminology that came from the word Slav. So the people of Poland, Russia, Serbia, all those places, Croatia, those are Slavs. So the Eastern Europeans used to be seen as the backward Europeans for a longer time, a long period of time. So the Roman Empire used to raid the Eastern Europe and take a lot of people, capture a lot of people from that place it was a kind of a slave reservoir. So the term Slav became synonymous with slavery. Shambami. So that you understand that the world has never been fair to anybody. The world has always been the history of the world is very, very dirty. You don't need to be emotional for you to understand the history of the world. So the Ottoman Empire used to also capture a lot of white slaves, the Slavic slaves. It was around the 300 years ago to 400 years ago that the European powers came together and said, we will not accept for the Caucasian race, no matter maybe they are Slavs or Germanic, to be used as slavery anywhere in the world, slaves anywhere in the world. So it was never, in fact, when it comes to global slavery, the black people came late to the party. All over the world, different races were enslaving themselves. It was later on, anyway, there are two types of, there's a reason why we need to explain slavery. Because I've seen a lot of people trying to push agenda. And what is the agenda they're pushing? Oh, she stole slaves. Oh, she saw slaves. And we need to explain this thing so that you can understand. Because in their mindsets, in their minds, their European masters never sold slaves. In their minds, the civilized world, quote unquote, that is what an average Yoruba Gen Z wants to be. A Yoruba Gen Z wants to be British than the British. He wants to be American than the American. He wants to be Canadian than the Canadian. Meanwhile, the history of his own people is even far more civilized than the people want to become. He views the world through the lens of Nigeria, and that's not true. That's not good. Nigeria is a geopolitical entity made up of different civilizations. There's no Nigerian civilization. If you say, oh, there's a Nigerian civilization, that is a Western colonial civilization. And that is anti-African. That's why the only people that know what they are doing in this country are the Hausa Fulanis. They've held on to their own Afro-Asiatic Fulanized Islamic civilization. While the rest of you are busy becoming Europeanized and Westernized. And they understand geopolitics.